Welcome back to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving and living life to the fullest, right smack dab in the midst of it. In the hopes that something that we share with you will help you and enlighten you and encourage you as you transition your family from struggling to survive disease to thriving and living life to the fullest, right smack dab in the midst of it. Well, I was reading and I decided to look up a couple words from what I was reading. And I didn't go all deep and look it up in other languages and all kind of stuff. I just Googled it. But I did look at 10 to 15 different dictionary sources for each of the words. And the two words I looked up was poor and needy. Now, needy, according to these dictionaries, mean that you're lacking the basic necessities of life. Food, clothing, shelter, right? Good water, good air. That's needy. And we can kind of understand that you're lacking, you're in want if you are needy, right? You don't have the basic necessities in life. But poor means you have the basic necessities in life. You just don't have or cannot afford the comforts and the luxuries within those basic necessities or in life. So I did not like that, because what I determined is that there is no real definition for poor. There is no real definition for poor, because who determines what's comfort for you? Who determines what's luxurious for you and yours? Who has that kind of power on this earth that walks on two legs to determine what is comfortable for any given person at any given time? You have the basic things that you need in life. You're not lacking. You're not wanting, right? So there's a bar and a standard that is set up by either a system, right? Or groupings of people, or whoever. Put it in there, the man, whatever you want to call them. You call them that in your mind. But it is set up to separate people. It is a social construct used to separate classes. It's a class system. It's also used to help people feel good about themselves by looking down on others. And it's also used to make people feel less than because they're not meeting a bar or a standard that someone else has set for them. And I don't like that, because when you look at the world, it affects us all in so many different ways. It affects people in the decisions they make for cars, for houses, for clothing, for neighborhoods, for the cell phone that they use, right? It affects people in all kind of ways, to where people stop being who they are, liking what they like, and thinking for themselves to wait for somebody who has a big name to wear it, say it, do it, or tell you to use it before you can make a decision on it. To where people can't look at what's going on in the world, what's going on in the government, in the political system, and make judgments for themselves. They're now waiting until whoever, whatever, tells them what to think, how to be, or how to act. Because now people feel bad and can't stand for what they believe in. They got to go with what everybody else is saying, even if they don't even believe it. So much so now, right, that people will sit and argue and fight with you over something, and it has no logical sense to it, but they don't even put any thought in it, because, we learned a lot about this, right, during the pandemic. It was always there, but it came out a lot, that herd mentality, right, that everybody start putting pressure on everybody to go in a certain direction, because if you're going against the grain, if you're going against traffic, now you're going to be ostracized, looked at as if you're crazy or whatever. And y'all, this is horrible. God gave us great minds. We have and are the best computer that's out there. That is true. And we're not using this thing called our brains. We're not thinking and seeing things through. And we are building our self-esteem and our identity and passing that on to our children. And then also some are letting their children put pressure on them because of these social constructs. You have your basic necessities in life. You might be living pretty good, but now all of a sudden there are people who will do all they can do to put on a front to make it look like they're not quote unquote poor and work their way into needy, trying to look like they're not poor. You know this, you've heard this, you've seen this. You know those people who buy what they want and beg for what they need. You can travel around the world. Everything you wearing is name brand from head to toe. You can go here and do this and you got everything you need, but you can't pay your bills. You ain't got no food. You get a flat tire. Now you got to lose your job because you can't go to work for 3 months because you can't afford to get a new tire. You know those people? And let me tell you something. This is on every level. That poverty mentality is on every level. That making people feel less than and making you feel better about yourself is on every level, because somebody with $20 million is going to try to display, look like, act like, and feel better than themselves, and want that person that got $1 million to feel bad because you know what? I'm better than you. So you have 20 billion, right? And you want to display and you think you're better than somebody that got 1 billion. Forget all of y'all got billions. Person got $100 million. They gonna try to display and look like and flaunt the fact that they got 100 million, so the one with 20 million feel less than. And the one with 20 million think, if I can only get to the 100 million, then you know I'm gonna be somebody. And when are we gonna realize the bar is always going to keep getting moved? It's always going to keep getting pushed up higher to keep making you feel less than. When the truth and the reality of it is, do you got food? You got good food? You got shelter? Is it doing its job? Does it keep you dry? Keep you out the wind and the rain? Keep you from the elements? Does it protect you from what's out there? Then your shelter is doing its job. Are you adequately clothed? Do you got shoes and they cover your feet and they keep them dry? And you can walk on rocks and they keep them protected? Do you? Then that shoe is doing its job. What's the purpose of a thing? Does it matter what the name is on that shoe? So now you're poor if your shoe that's doing its job, doing its purpose, don't have a certain name. You poor, you less than. And you will base your identity, your self-esteem on the name of a shoe? Here's the thing. We are created in God's image. We can't even duplicate ourselves. Yeah, they're cloning people, but you can't even just clone. You got to go get DNA, RNA from something God created that we can't even do ourselves. We can't make those chains and that complication of that DNA. There's stuff in there we still ain't even discovered. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. But yet we'll bust ourselves down and lower ourselves to a shoe that we created, that man has created, and we'll put that shoe and elevate that shoe over us, a shoe that can't think, that can't feel, that can't breathe, that can't love, that can't do. Has it come to this? Has it come to this? We're marketing people out there. I see commercials, and I've been seeing this for years, y'all, decades. And I go, they don't think people are that stupid. And then the world run behind it, and you go, oh, people ain't using their brain. They really are stupid. Don't dumb yourself down. Think. Use your mind. You see what's going on in the world. You see what's going on in politics, but yet you wait. And when I say you, I'm not talking about you directly. I'm talking about the whole world, all of us, right? People, mankind. We wait for somebody with a name who's being paid to come out and tell you what to think. We're waiting to see what the masses do before we have an opinion. And then we come out and you can stand on that opinion and you can argue that thing and you can know that there's no logic to it and it makes absolutely no sense. Someone said something to me the other day. She was going through some stuff. She said she was sick and she got off all the medications and she went back to doing the things that she knew to do and she felt better. And she told me, she said, I got common sense. Y'all, do y'all remember when common sense was like a good thing? It still is, but somehow people have left it and they feel proud about it. Let me tell you something. When you're going through chronic illness, health issues, disease, sickness, and please don't be in a real serious life or death health crisis. When you're going through all of that, can I tell you something? As a person who's been there many, 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 many times in a fight for my life. When you're in a fight for your life, you know what matters to you? That you have the basic necessities, that you have the people that you love around you. When you're fighting for your life, you know what matters for you? What you did with your time. Did you tell people you love them? Making sure your heart is right. People matter. A name on a shoe don't matter. You don't even care. I'm telling you the truth. And if I need to eat, and I'm eating a carrot, I don't care if it came from Whole Foods. I don't care if it came out the garden. I don't care if it came from Swahili. If you need a carrot, you want a carrot. If you starving and you gonna die, all you want is that carrot. You don't care if the carrot got a name or a brand. When you're fighting for your life, y'all, real matters. And you don't really care about all them comforts and them luxuries. And sometimes, you want to know the truth? Sometimes what's a comfort may not even look like a comfort. May not look like a luxury when you're in a health battle. And that's real. That's real talk. That's real experience talking to you. So here I am, encouraging you, imploring you to use your brain to think. Think your way through and don't overlook common sense. If it don't make sense, y'all, guess what? It don't make sense. Keep it simple. 1 + 1 is 2. Right? You know what they used to say? If it looked like a duck, walk like a duck, quack like a duck, it's probably a duck. That still remains the same. If it got a long nose, big ears, and it's howling, guess what? It ain't a duck. So don't let them tell you it's a duck and then you believe it and then overlook what your common sense in your mind is telling you and what you know. Don't think you're better than anybody else because of what you have and what you don't have and what they don't have. And don't think you're less than because of what somebody have and what you don't have. And we all do it. We all go through it. Don't lie to yourself and say you don't. We all do. Have you ever felt bad? Life was just sucking for you. And then you thought about somebody that you know who life always suck even worse than yours. So you call them so you could feel good about yourself. You're doing the same thing. Have you ever gotten low? Whatever your low is. There's a low on wealthy, rich, well-to-do, well-off, average, just enough, and not enough. Everybody got a level, right? Of where it's low for them. And some people's low is higher than other people's low. And some people's low is lower than other people's low. But have you ever got real low? Right? And you just think, well, at least it ain't that. And then you feel better about yourself. Yeah, that's wrong. You need to know who you are. You need to be authentically you. And you need to be grateful to have the basic necessities and the basic needs in life. Because all it takes is an earthquake, a tsunami, a hurricane, a tornado, a bomb, a fire, a flood, right? And all that you think you got can be gone. Be grateful to not be needy. Don't even look at needy people as less than. Pray for the needy. Because it's in here most times that they need the change. Be grateful you're not needy. But if you have your basic necessities, you are not poor. And don't let that become your identity. Recognize the uniqueness and the greatness that is called you. Hope something in there was helpful for you. Until next time, remember, in all things, at all time, be and do you. Bye.